Merry Christmas, Gemini. It's December 2017. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au with your December brief but hopefully helpful forecast. And if you take a look at the horoscope, what fascinates me is this cluster of planets here in your 7th house of marital affairs, partnerships, that type of thing, receiving a fine aspect from Uranus and here also from Mars. But this is going to get pretty intense. We start animating this. You'll see Mercury in particular is going to go into a stationary motion here and then retrograde straight after that around the 4th and 5th. The moon moves into the opposite side of this, which is a full moon. Just go back there a little bit, just around the 3rd and 4th. So this intensifies a lot of what's going on in your marital and romantic affairs. You'll notice also that your 5th house, which is your love affairs sector, number 1 has Mars there, which is activating that. It's also the planet ruling your friendships. And the ruler of this area, Venus, is in your 7th house. So this is all to do with love, marriage, relationships. This can be explosive around the early part of the month. Take a look at this. Mars has, in fact, passed the opposition of a very powerful retrograde Uranus in this 11th house of friendship. And you want to watch some of these harder aspects from the moon, which that's a nice aspect there. So that should smooth things down around the 5th and 6th. But watch where it moves through here into the right angle. Well, you just went through that right angle here. That would have been probably around the 3rd and 4th. That right angle to Mars from the sign of Cancer would precipitate some really intense interactions with friends. Communication's better though after the 7th as it moves through this 3rd house of communication. Nice aspects again formed here. But this retrograde Mercury is telling us quite a bit about the level of communication. Let me stop that for a moment. The retrogression obviously means, especially because it's your ruling planet, for the signs of Gemini and Virgo, for example, the retrogression of Mercury is not a bad thing. It actually empowers you and gives you strength. It may, however, for your partner, business partner, spouse, marital partner, live-in partner, give them some indecisiveness. So you'll be dealing with that. You may be strong in your intent, your purpose, but your partners may not be. And this continues for a while. And I'm going to show you what happens here a little bit later on. The moon moves through your domestic sphere. Mars moves into your 6th house of work. So that's an interesting one as well that you've got to watch. Just after the 8th, you'll start to feel this impact. This moves away from the love affairs, friendships, influence that we talked about into work, health, debts, disease and enemies. So this area of your horoscope is activated. And when the moon comes into this point, which you'll see here, it moves through the 4th house of family matters on the 8th, 9th, 10th and the 11th and 12th. It moves here through the zone of love affairs. And then it's going to make contact here in this 6th house. This is the critical point around here that I draw your attention to. Look at this huge cluster of planets here, 6th house, 7th house. Health, debts, co-workers, partnerships, and marital affairs around the 14th. This can precipitate some inflammation, some issues that are associated with congestion, colds, flu, fever, that type of thing. So watch your health around this time. And of course, when Mars, Moon and Jupiter are together, you can be excessive to say the least. You're probably trying to catch up on all your work here to get through to Christmas. Now have a look here. Saturn is going to make a move. A lot is happening in this 7th house because a little bit later, you see this Mercury. The important thing prior to that is the new moon that's going to take place here. A complete change in the way you're approaching your relationships. Just about here. Have a look here. Just on the new moon, bang. the 18th. And straight after that, look at this, Saturn, very, very important transit after 2.5 years, moving from this restrictive part of your horoscope. This has to be one of the big late effects for you in 2017. There it is, the moon moves into the 8th. Then keep your eye out here on these big transits that are happening after the 20th. Saturn will move straight out of here now, and it's all intense just there because you've got a conjunction of that obsessive, almost manipulative, transformative Moon-Pluto conjunction, while Saturn moves away from this marital relationship area into your 8th house. It's going to, over the next year or so, make contact with Saturn. So sexual matters are going to be a really, really big issue. We're going to be talking about that through 2018 if you hang around long enough. And then the misunderstandings or the problems you've had with Mercury, you'll see that clear up very quickly after the 20th, just in time for Christmas. If you've been having a bit of a spat with your lover, then the communication can get much better when this one goes stationary and direct. There it is on the 21st. It's getting better. There you go. You start to see things opening up a little bit. Venus and Mercury are left alone there. That's a pretty important time. Perfect timing to kiss and make up, isn't it? Just before Christmas. Stationary Mercury going to go into conjunction with Venus a little bit later here. Venus is also going to move into the 8th house. You see that shift away from this basic outer relationship component to this sexual, intimate component. See here, Venus, Sun, Pluto, Saturn. That's pretty intense just around Christmas. And then, of course, you've got that intensifying conjunction of Mars and Jupiter in your workplace. Be careful if you're hiring people at that time. You may be overconfident and not get what has been promised to be delivered. There's Mercury. It's going to remain there for the rest of the year, so that's good in a way. At least it's not retrograde for you. Your partner will be able to open up and make amends. I hope that's helped. It's always fun talking to you. I hope you'll join me again next month when we do the New Year readings. In the meantime, come and visit at astrology.com.au. There's a lot more stuff there on the month, a chronological breakdown of those aspects that can give you a bit more insight. Till I talk to you next time, have fun. Look forward to your company again. Bye-bye.